Good evening, everyone. You're watching the Founders Forum. My name is Benjamin Verikokkos, and we've got a great show for you guys tonight. So, today's topic takes place a couple of weeks ago, no, a couple of days ago, close to a week, but takes place at the United Nations during the General Assembly. So obviously, Trump made a speech, actually an hour-long speech. It was pretty decent long. I thought it was pretty great. He addressed everything, basically set the tone for America. So I was pretty happy with that. But then a couple of days, I think the day after, it was like where the real surprise came in, right? Netanyahu, right? He gave a speech to all the delegates, and then as he was walking up, they all left. Every single one of them except for his own party, they all left, and yeah, it was an embarrassment for him. But yeah, so basically the reason behind that was basically the world has turned its back on Israel, right? The the Prime Minister of Israel is now seen as a bloodthirsty, genocidal dictator. It's just not a good place for him. Everybody always thought that Israel loves to play the victim card, and in this case, or now, he's not able to anymore. And of course, rightly so. They have every reason to view him this way. They lost the entire world in 2 years. So basically, it's just a very slow process. It took a little bit for everybody to realize, but it's pretty clear now. But if you go back to 2015, right, when Netanyahu, I can't say his name, but Netanyahu, right, he was there at 2015 giving another speech. So because it wasn't always like this, right? You go back to 2015 when Netanyahu was giving a speech about the Iranian nuclear deal. That was, in current negotiation. He gave a speech to a packed house, showing his diagram of how Iran is 90% to the way of making a nuclear bomb. The whole world turned its back to him, and that's basically what democratic isolation looks like. You're just left behind. Everybody, you're exposed now. Everybody knows the truth, and you're not going to be backed up anymore. Yeah, they lost everyone. They lost Latin America. Everyone in Latin America, Africa, Russia, and China. Everyone in Europe, everyone in the Middle East, even Egypt. They don't support Israel anymore. In fact, they came out with a document that states Israel as the enemy. So no one's backing Israel anymore, and it's kind of nice to see because we all knew this. We all knew that Israel had put their hands in, Russia's pocket, China's pocket, especially America's pocket, But really, the only thing backing Israel now is America, because you guys still have Trump trying to make a deal between, the two countries. But yeah, it's a pretty bad state for Israel. Yeah, but his message was, we will not let the world cram a Palestinian state down our throats. In other words, even if the whole world is against what we're doing, we're still going to do it anyway. Even if the whole world is against us murdering the Palestinians, causing genocides all over the country, right? They're still going to do it because they don't care, right? But, and I just want to make this clear. I'm still not taking anyone's side on this. I'm on Palestine's side. I'm on Israel's side. I'm just showing the truth of Israel. Because I'm still against both countries, At the end of the day, Palestine still started the war, so. Then, Netanyahu says the recognition of the Palestinian state by more than 150 countries is a disgrace. He thinks it's unfair that Palestine is getting all this attention and everyone's taking Palestine's side. neither Israel or Netanyahu can play the victim card anymore. And people always say it's just Netanyahu. It's not just him. It's the whole it's the whole government, the Israeli people themselves. It's the whole entire country, not just Netanyahu. Um, but then if you look, because this war has been going on for a while now, right? 2 years. But if you take a look at their goals that Israel's stated in the past, they said they want to stop or reduce attacks on their territory, which they have. They want to dismantle or weaken Hamas, which they have. They want to restore the deterrence, which, surprise, they also have. They want to maintain strategic control over security zones. They have done that. They want to avoid broader regional threats, and what a surprise, they've done that too. There really are no more excuses except for the hostages, really. They say, we're going to keep going after them because, all their excuses, but then we all know that's fake, right? Because we've clearly seen that Israel's the superior country here against, the Hamas rebellion group, right? But, they say all that. You look through that, but then you still see the hostages, right? That, the Palestinians still have hostages that are using as meat shields, which of course Israel still, continues to bomb buildings because, they don't really care. Really what it is just because when you have the whole world going against Israel, right? The whole entire world, no one's backing them anymore. So now they're going to start doing assassinations, taking out key people. They'll start using their media tactics because, of course, everybody knows, or they believe, I guess, in a way that the Jewish people or Israel just controls the entire media, and it's basically run off of their perspective and what they want us to think. And even then, if that doesn't succeed, right, all the countries against them, they do all the things, assassinations, media controlling, right, then maybe we wouldn't want to mess with them because they have a nuclear arsenal. So now it's nuclear blackmail that they're using. And now, of course, America has, nuclear arsenal too. Same with Russia, China, North Korea, and of course many other countries. So it's not like it's just Israel, but it could be something that they could use because, once we start going after them, right, then they're gonna bomb all their countries that do have a nuclear arsenal, and we're one of them. So basically, if we can't control or take out Israel, it might just be the end for all of us, because we all know by now that we're pretty close to World War III. It's not a surprise. It's, not that there's rising tensions, but there's conflict all over the world, and it's getting closer and closer to America, which basically means we're going to have to start stepping in soon, and then it becomes our war, it becomes our problem. And then, yeah, so that's that really. And once we start using nuclear bombs, China will, Russia will, and then the whole world's nuking each other, and then now you don't have a world anymore, and you can thank Israel for that. But yeah, basically we need to, step back and realize the bigger picture here, that Israel, it's kind of all unfolding for them. No one's taking their side anymore. We're not backing them. Literally, the whole world turned their back on Israel, and it was definitely satisfying to see, because, again, I'm not taking anyone's side here, because I'm still against both countries, but definitely wouldn't be supporting Israel. So, yeah, it was nice to see that, Netanyahu getting humbled. Anyway, so that'll do it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.